choice. And in this race, I think the choice is very, very clear. We need honest leadership to make the right decisions for this country. People who are going to support pro-growth, pro-jobs policies that will get people back to work. And the agenda of this crowd in Washington, the crowd that's supporting him, he says, I'm Washington. Well, the truth is, he supports the Washington agenda. You know, Joe Biden's not coming here to campaign for me. He's coming here for him because they need somebody to rubber stamp their agenda. They know I won't, that I will be a check and a balance against many of these policies, whether it's on card check, taking away your rights in the workplace, taking away, again, imposing massive energy taxes. In an area like ours, we've devastated given our carbon dependence, the types of industry base that we have here. You know, we can't allow this to happen. We have to make sure there's certainty and stability with respect to our tax rates. People want security and stability in their lives. They're not getting it because Washington is sending these terrible, terrible messages. You know, we need to get control of our spending. I mean, that is a great threat to our economic security. And we need to cancel unspent stimulus monies and take the repaid TARP monies and the unobligated monies and spend it down. My opponent's taken 3 positions on TARP 18 months after the bill became law. And he supports son of TARP, another $30 billion, so the federal government can buy preferred stock in banks. We don't need to do that. That's where he's coming from. I mean, we have to be much more sensible about this. You know, we cannot pass laws like the health care bill, and he mentioned the financial reg bill, Barney Frank's bill, you know, over 2,000 pages. There are already probably close to 5,000 regulations in both the health care law and the financial regulatory law. It's going to make credit more difficult to access for people on Main Street. You know, people who are credit worthy aren't going to get it. It's going to perpetuate bailouts. They're going to create a situation where they're not stopping too big to fail. They're creating a new scenario, too small to succeed. Small community banks that didn't cause any of these problems are going to be forced to merge because they can't afford to comply with federal law. That's what's going to happen. You'll have multiple big banks. So bottom line is, this is a choice. How do we move this economy forward? My approach of more limited government, a lesser federal role, belief in the private sector to create jobs, or my opponent's approach, which is a statist approach. More federal stimulus, more federal spending, more mandates, more regulations, and somehow Washington will get us all to work. That won't work for Americans. We're different. You know, this is an entrepreneurial country. That's one thing we're always going to have an advantage of over every other nation in this world. We are entrepreneurial, we are innovative, and we will lead. I have great hope for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Let me for a moment go back to the issue of veterans benefits. And clearly, when you're engaged in 2 wars, you're going to have more veterans and therefore more costs associated with those veterans. But it does not mean that you have not cut individual veterans benefits, Charlie. It's a matter of pretty simple math. And Congressman talks about an energy tax. I'm not exactly sure what he's referring to. But one thing I do know is you want to talk about a Lehigh Valley energy tax. How about the 30% increase in our utility bills, our electricity bill that we all got this year at the worst possible time? You want to talk about a job killer. You want to talk about people struggling to stay in their homes and having to leave their homes because they can't afford to heat their house or make a decision between paying their electricity bill and paying a prescription bill. Charlie Dent supported electricity deregulation. And he said this year, if he had the choice, he'd do it all over again. Now, folks, I think that's wrong. And in the process, he has collected over $200,000, more than $200,000 from those same electricity utility companies that he deregulated. Again, in the midst of the worst recession since the Great Depression, you all got hit with a 30% increase in your electricity bill. The reality is that Congressman Dent does not want to own his record in Washington. He's been part of the problem in D.C. He voted for an $850 billion Wall Street bailout. He voted for $3 trillion in new debt. That's $10,000 for every man, woman, and child in this country. He voted against tax cuts for working families and small businesses. He voted to give tax breaks to companies that ship our jobs overseas, and his priorities are just wrong. Congressman Dent may be a nice guy, but he makes a lot of bad votes in Washington. And he's fallen in with the wrong crowd, and he no longer represents us. Now he's trying to distort my record because he can't defend his own. His record is millions of lost jobs, billion-dollar bailouts, and billions of dollars in debt. I wouldn't want to talk about that record either if I were Congressman Dent. While Charlie Dent was running up trillion-dollar debts in Washington and bailing out his Wall Street buddies, I've been in the Lehigh Valley helping small businesses create 5,000 jobs, investing $2 billion of private sector investment, reducing $60 million of debt, and slashing $10 million of government waste. In the last 3 years, we have cut violent crime in the city of Bethlehem by 25%. We are the safest city in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That's my record. But elections are all about the future. That's why I've talked about my 5-point plan to create jobs and reduce debt and deficit in this country. This is an election about a clear choice. A mayor with a proven record and a plan to help Main Street, or a congressman who's been helping Wall Street from Washington. We need someone that understands how to create jobs and how to fix the financial mess that we've gotten ourselves into. The hardworking families of the Lehigh Valley are struggling. I get it. I understand it. I think Wall Street has enough congressmen. I'm asking for your vote because I want to be the congressman of the Lehigh Valley. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your attention and having the opportunity to talk about the issues leading up to November 2nd.
Thank you both. And I personally want to thank Congressman Dent and Mayor Callahan for sticking with our time limits, and I congratulate them on presenting their positions in a forceful way tonight.